Hi, my name's Owen Blake. I'm the UK Tree Seed Collecting Project Officer and I work at Kew Gardens Millennium Seedbank. Today we're at Aston Rowant and we're collecting cherry seed from wild cherry Prunus avium trees. The aim of today is to collect the genetic diversity from the cherry trees that are on site to be stored at the Millennium Seedbank for long-term conservation and research. The Millennium Seedbank is a wild seed bank storing wild seed from our global partners and also our UK partners with UK collections like the ones we're making today. So today it will involve scoping out to see exactly where we have the cherry trees, assessing if there are enough fruit on the trees. Then from that point on we can begin making a collection, try and collect seed and fruit from across the canopy using a pole pruner and also from beneath the tree where perhaps it's already dispersed, hopefully maximising the different genetic diversity from different pollen donors from around the canopy of the tree. So the data that we capture is to make sure that the collections are usable going into the future. Some of the most important data is to ensure that it was collected legally. Other field data that we'll collect on the day will include information of the woods, perhaps what the associated species are, and perhaps how the habitat has been managed, whether it's been coppiced, perhaps it's pasture, or is managed for amenity. It's a really important collaboration that we have with Natural England, enabling us to access a lot of these NNRs, National Nature Reserves, and LNRs, Local Nature Reserves. So these NNRs hopefully have been really well managed and have these fantastic habitats with these great ecosystems. What we're looking for are these wild populations, and there's a really good chance that in these ancient woodland sections of NNRs we'll find some really great collections and really important genetic diversity to conserve. So for Aston Rowant Nature Reserve, one of the things that makes this a really special site are the juniper collections that they have here and populations of juniper and some of the other novel species compositions that they have on site. And these are important aspects for us to try and conserve that may not be found elsewhere in the country or might have some really specific features and adaptations to here. So one of the other things that we'll aim to do whilst we're on site is to scope for other species that we're hoping to collect later on in the year. So this might include white beam in our case, which is Aria edulis, and perhaps beech Fagus sylvatica. So what we can do today is identify the individual trees and also assess whether or not they have fruit already forming on the trees to get a good idea whether or not a substantial large size collection is possible later in the year. The hope is that the work that we've done today will help conserve the genetic diversity and adaptations of the cherry that we've collected on site, which is why Aston Rowant and this collection here is really quite important, not just for today, but hopefully for the long-term conservation of varying different species.